Hi everyone, welcome to day 10 out of 14 of our 14-day challenge. Your asana of the day is handstand. So we're gonna get started in just a few moments. Make sure you have any props, blocks, blankets, anything that you like for your practice. And we'll begin started in a comfortable seat. So whatever that means for you, make your way into your comfortable seat. I'll meet you on the mat. Wherever you're seated, just be sure to root down towards the sit bone, lift up through the crown of the head. Bring the palms to rest either on the knees or in the lap, whatever feels comfortable. Take a moment just to arrive on your mat, in your body. The nice long inhale through the nose. And exhale at the mouth. One more just like that, big breath in. And big breath out. Close the mouth. Just begin to find your pace of breath. Exploring the space between the hip bones, the low belly, feeling the ribs separate. Maybe finally the chest and the collarbones will find that bit of lift. And as you're here playing around with your breath, check in mentally with how you feel today. Trying to let go of any expectation or judgment so that you can just go with the flow. Wherever you want the work, you take it. Wherever you want the rest, you take it as well. Just trust that your body will tell you what it needs in the moments. So that, taking your right palm towards your belly, your left palm towards your heart, just enjoying your breath and heartbeat. If you like setting an intention for practice, choose a person, place, thing, or goal, or whatever is inspiring you to move on the mat today. To repeat in your mind just a few times now. And to seal off with a breath. Nice full inhale. And exhale, release. Tucking the chin towards the chest, fluttering the eyes open with a couple blinks, and bringing the gazes back forwards. So welcome to Sunday Sweat. I'm Sherry. We're going to start in our tabletop position. So palms underneath of the shoulders, knees underneath of the hips, fingers spread wide. And with your next inhale, just allow the belly to drop, taking gaze and tailbone up towards the ceiling. And with your exhale, round out your spine. Really press into all 10 fingertips, especially that index and thumb. Inhale again, belly drops, gaze comes forwards, tail comes up. And again, exhale, rounding out the spine, tucking the chin in towards the chest. Continue to move, just marrying cat and cow together, playing with some barrel rolls, some hip swirls, exploring all of the different corners of your mat. Noticing how your wrists feel. You can play with maybe even taking the one back of the hand to the mat and sort of rolling it out, or switching sides. Maybe it feels better for you to have the fingers towards you or to the sides of the mat. You can just play around here, exploring space. Here for another 4. No right or wrong answer, just freestyle movement. 3, 2, and coming back into neutral. Find about a 50% cat back. So you're pushing that floor away from you slightly, feeling those shoulder blades separate. And step the legs back for high plank. So in our foundational posture here, push the floor away from you, feeling those shoulder blades again, still separating up towards the ceiling. Have a look that your toes are one of your foot's length apart. And then we'll take an inhale. And exhale, drop the heels towards the right. You can start to send that left thumb up to the ceiling as well. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale, switching sides. Exhale, coming back through center. One more each side. Inhale, heels drop, left thumb lifts. Exhale, palms down. Inhale to switch sides. And exhale, palms down. Take a big breath here. And hips up and back. Downward facing dog. So this is your first down dog maybe of the day. So you want to pedal it out, sway it out, shake it out. Notice how your neck feels, your back. If you feel like you don't have a lot of room to flatten out the spine, just bend the knees a lot. Let the tailbone be the high point of your posture. Press into your fingertips, your knuckles, and finding stillness. Again, straight legs are not the goal of down dog. It's all about that long spine. So if your heels are off the mat, that's totally fine. If your knees are super bent, that's also totally fine. Work with what you got. Take a big breath here. Big breath out. Take an inhale, lift the hips and heels high to the ceiling. Exhale, settle the heels back down towards the floor. Good, this time inhale, lift the hips and heels. Let's drop the heels towards the right. And exhale, come back through center. Inhale, drops the heels towards the left. And exhale, up through center. Good, one more each side. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale and exhale. Come through our first vinyasa, inhale, ripple forwards into high plank, belly super strong. As you lower halfway, elbows stay tight to ribs. Inhale, presses the heart up, upward bend of choice, tops of feet onto the mat, and pull from the hips and the core to send it up and back, downward facing dog. Big breath in, big breath out. Take an inhale, ripple forwards into high plank, maybe using the knees to help slowly lower yourself down, down, down to the floor. And once you come down, uncurl the toes, tops of the feet pressing flat to the mat. Draw the shoulder blades down the back, palms come by the ribs. With your next inhale, float your head and heart, playing with that baby cobra. Rely on your spine, not on your fingers. And exhale, soften it down. Go 2 more, inhale, float it up. And exhale, relax. Good, last one, inhale, float it up. Maybe you're even hovering the palms off the mat this time for 3, for 2, and 1. Relax down to the floor. From here, press back into your first child's pose. Knees open wide, hips back to the heels, forehead melts down. Just sort of sway it out from left to right, letting everything go. Remember, you can visit this shape if you ever need a rest or a reset. And if you like, you can keep your knees wide to get more into your hips, or if you're more tense in the low back, maybe the knees are close together and you're reaching for the bottoms of the feet instead. So it's up to you. Take a big breath here. Big breath out. Gaze forwards, fingers forwards, floating up into your tabletop shape. Find that puff of the shoulder blades, toes curl under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Beautiful work. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, right leg lifts, 3-legged dog. So toes turn down to the floor, squaring the hip with the mat, pressing weight into that left heel, even if it means that right foot doesn't come as high as we usually like it to. Let's take a big breath in. Exhale, nose to knee to nose, rounding forwards, point the toes. Inhale, flow back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, cross the body, touch your left elbow, twist. Good, inhale, flow back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, cross the elbow, touch the left elbow, and extend that right leg. Pinky edge of the right foot to the mat. Drop to the inner arch of that left foot, and let's send that left thumb up. Here for 3, really nice. Here for 2. And bringing the palm down to the floor. Inhale, sweep that right leg up and back. And exhale, step the right toes forwards. Set your left knee down to the mat. Take your palms to your thigh, press yourself up. So from here, you're gonna use hands on the hips. You're gonna pull the right hip back in space, left hip forwards, and then tilt the tailbone down towards the floor. So you're already gonna feel some sensation in your left hip flexor. Keep the back toes curled under so you have feedback for your back leg. Squeeze that left glute a little bit. And if you have some more space to play with, we're gonna allow the hips to settle forward. So the second you feel your ribs popping, so we're gonna stop and tilt the tailbone down even more. Here for 4. It might not look as big, but it should feel a little bit bigger. 3, 2, and 1. Carefully, palms come to the inside of your right ankle. Heel toe your right foot towards the right edge of the mat. Turn rock hips back into a half split. Keep your knee really soft, really relaxed. And if you have some more space, you might turn those right toes out 45 degrees. You're gonna feel it more along the outer lining of the leg, the outside of the IT band perhaps, maybe outside of that right knee. Focus on a sort of a cow spine as you fold. Try to avoid that hunch or that arch between the shoulder blades. Here 3. Here 2. Toes up to the ceiling first, and then sole of the foot connects with the mat. Heel toe the foot back in between the palms. Curl the back toe under, lift that left knee off the mat, press into the left hand. Inhale, sweep the right thumb up. Exhale, hands to the inside of the ankle, drop your back heel, and spin to face the long end of your mat. So you arrive in a wide-legged forward fold. Now the heels are matched up, the toes are slightly turned in. Walk that heart forwards, inhale. Exhale, bend 90 degrees towards that left thigh. Good, inhale, straighten legs through center. Exhale towards the right. Continue that flow from side to side. Now palms can come to heart center if you want more challenge. You can also open up your wingspan or even reach for an imaginary block above the head. So take it to where you want to take it. Really just focusing on warming up the outside lines of the legs. So use those legs to really push you from side to side for 3. For 2. Let's try to land on that left thigh and use that left thigh to power your spin to the top of the mat. Now, you can use your fingers for support or palms to heart center. And pop that left heel up and float up into your warrior three. Really good. So hands to the hips if you like. That helps to wrap that left side down. If you need a little bend in the standing leg, that's going to give you some room, especially if you're tight in the hamstrings. Here for 3. Here for 2. Take a slow rise, coming all the way up to standing, hands to the hips. You're going to cross the left thigh over top of the right. So both legs are straight, soles of the feet are connected, it's just the legs are twist tied. So you have about a fist's worth of distance between your 2 pinky toes. Have a quick look that the weight is even between front, right, left, and back of the foot. Take an inhale to puff the heart up. And exhale, come halfway. So this halfway point, see if you can tug that left hip back in space a little bit. If you have some more space to play with, you might let your heart fold a little bit more. Now fingers can rest to the floor. You can take a bind, interlace your fingertips behind you. Maybe you're finding that little bit of a shoulder opener as well. If you want more intensity, little twist towards the left. If you want more intensity, little bend into that right knee. And that's going to give you a little bit more. You want to, or that left knee, excuse me. That you want to feel sensation all along that right leg. Here for 3. For 2. One more big breath in. One more big breath out. Come up halfway, hands to the hips, and slowly rise. Unwind the legs and just rock it out a little bit if they're feeling a little sticky. Connect the big toes towards the top of the mat. Let the heels fall slightly apart, palms facing forwards. Roll the shoulders up the ears and just let them slide on the back so that your chest stays nice and broad, those collarbones are open. With your next inhale, sweep the arms up, gazes up. With your exhale, forward fold, soften the knees. Inhale, lengthen halfway, squeeze your shoulder blades back. And with your exhale, palms come down to the mat, step up. Flow option to vinyasa. Now reminder, if you need some support, knees can stay on the floor as you lower halfway. Inhale, heart lifts, upward bend of choice. You can always keep your belly on the mat. And pick up from the hips, pick up from the core to send it up and back into downward facing dog. Once you've arrived in your down dog, big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Now square that left hip down, pull the low belly in, press some weight into the right heel. Get really strong in your shape. Take a big breath in. Exhale, nose to knee to nose, rounded forwards. Inhale, flow back, push into those palms. Exhale, cross your body, touch that right elbow. Inhale, flow back. Exhale again, cross the body, touch the right elbow, extend that left leg. Come to the inner arch of that right foot and send that right palm up towards the ceiling. Lift the hips up high for 3. For 2. And bringing that right palm down, slide that left leg up and back, 3-legged, and exhale, step. Those left toes forwards, setting the back knee down. Take any cushion you need for your knee. Press yourself up with your palms, hands to the hips here, to tug the left hip back and to tilt the tailbone down towards the floor. So we're gonna get that pelvic tilt here. If you can keep that back toe stays curled under for that feedback, let the hips sort of settle and melt forwards. And then if you feel yourself starting to pop in the chest, that's where we stop and focus on the tilts here. You should feel lots of sensation on your right hip flexor. Squeeze your right glute if you're not. For 3. Oops. For 2. And 1. Palms come down to the inside of your left ankle, heel toe, that left foot to the left edge of the mat, and then we'll rock our hips back into a wide-legged half split. So knees still really soft, really gooey. Strong flex in the ankle, and if you want, you can turn those left toes out 45 degrees. So you're sort of tilting that pinky toe off to the side. That's going to give you just a little bit more towards the outside lining of the leg where we're looking for today. Here, 3. Belly nice and flat. Here for 2. Inhale, toes up to the ceiling first. Sole of the foot connects, heel toe the foot back in between the hands. Curl the back toe under, press into that right palm, sweep that left thumb up, inhale, and exhale, palms down. Drop to the drop the back heel to the mat, coming to your wide-legged forward fold. Once you're there, heels are lined up, we're gonna turn our toes outwards. So it's 45 degrees each side. Take an inhale to lift the heart up. Exhale, 90-degree bend towards that right side. Good, inhale, coming back up through center. 90 degrees towards the left. Again, flow from side to side. Let's see if you can draw the knees away from the midline. As you take those deep bends into the knees, use the outer linings of the legs, the glutes and the hamstrings here, just to help you find that flow. Here for 4. 3. 2. Let's try to land on that right side and then use the power of the legs to slowly spin you towards the top of your mat. So from there, you're gonna come high up onto the ball of the right foot, maybe fingers on the floor or finding your float. Strong through the leg, Sunday things. Good, so once you're there, strong legs, hands to the hips are also really helpful. Guide that right hip down. Press into that left big toe. Here for 3. Here for 2. Like a pendulum, slowly rising up. And we're crossing that right foot over top of the left. So you have these twist-tied legs. Both legs are straight. Both soles of the feet are evenly pressing down to the floor. But a fist worth of distance between those 2 pinky toes. Hug the right hip back, lift the heart up, and exhale, fold. At halfway, you can decide here if you feel like you have more juice to go, you can come further. You can play with a bind. You can work with whatever worked for you on the last side. If you want a little bit more intensity, a little twist towards the right will give you a little bit more. If you want a little bit more on top of that, a little bit more of a bend into that front knee will give you some more space. Here for 3. Try not to get light in that left foot. Press that left big toe down. Good, for 2. And coming back through the center, strong belly. Come up halfway, hands to the hips if they're not there. And rise up. Unwind the legs. And let all of that go. Wiggle out the ankles. Come towards the top of your mat. Connect your big toes. Let your heels fall slightly apart. Sun salutation A. Inhale, sweeps arms up, gazes up. Exhale, forward fold, soften knees. Inhale, lengthen halfway, puff your heart. And exhale, palms connect to the mat. Step or hop back through high plank, flowing through. Nice strong belly in those chaturangas. Using the up dog to draw the shoulder blades back. And using the hips and the core to flow up and back into downward facing dog. Beautiful work. Big breath in. Big breath out. Check out how this down dog is starting to evolve. If you want to try something a little different for your calves, you can take the toes slightly inwards, heels slightly out into like a pigeon toe, or you can take a duck foot, heels connect, toes out to the sides. Just little different areas to access. You can try either. If you don't like either, that's fine. Heels can just come to neutral. For 3. And keep tipping that tailbone up nice and high for 2. With your next inhale, bend at the knees, gaze forward, step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale to puff the heart, lengthen. Exhale, fold and soften. Root to rise, squeeze the bum, sweep the arms up, gaze up, and exhale, hands to heart center, and down by the sides. Beautiful work. Have a sip of water, have a towel up if you need one. We're gonna come into our second portion. So heel toeing the feet apart hip width distance. Now hip width distance is about 2 of your fists that fit between your 2 big toes. So have a kind of a quick look and gauge what that distance is so that your femurs are stacked right underneath of your hip bones and you have support. You want more weight towards the heels so the toes feel light, but that the toes are still pressing towards the floor. Once you've got that, let's take an inhale to sit low into a squat. So reach the fingers forward. So you're gonna use that counterbalance to help send more weight back towards the mat. Now really use the glutes, really use the hamstrings here. Feel the backs of the legs support you. Here for 4, we're bringing in natural heat, natural blood flow. 3, 2, and a slow forward fold. Not turn away from the legs. Take an inhale, lengthen halfway. And exhale, fingertips down to the mat. Now you're gonna take a medium, large size step back with your left toes. Once they land, take a big bend into that left knee and a big bend into the right knee and rise up with strong legs. You're gonna make this box-like shape with hands on the hips once more. Again, we're gonna tilt that tailbone down towards the floor. Once you get really solid in your legs and anchored, cactus those arms. Take a big breath here. Big breath out. Inhale, straight arms, straight legs. Exhale, drop it down low. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. This time, inhale, straight arms, straight legs. Hands to the hips. Work those left toes in a little bit. Drop the back heel at 45 degrees. So your left toes are pointing to that left corner of your mat. With the hands on the hips, you're gonna feel like the legs are tearing the mat apart between your 2 feet. Take an inhale to puff up your heart. And exhale to come halfway. So at this halfway point again, you're gonna scissor that right thigh back. Now you might bring your fingers to the floor. Make sure that that right knee is locked out. Keep a little micro bend in that right knee. You can stay here or left fingertips press to the floor. Right thumb, twist up to the ceiling. Really nice. So really keep strong in the legs. It shouldn't feel like that left leg can float up off the mat. You should feel super solid in both. So scissor those thighs. Here for 3. Really strong belly. Here for 2. And 1. Palms come down to the floor. Hands come to the hips. Squeeze the legs to rise up. So we're going to find our Trikonasana. Turning those left toes out to face the left. Hips sort of shift to the left as well, but make sure that those right toes are still pointing straight forwards. You can extend through the fingertips, tuck the right hip back, and when you can't reach any further, it's just a simple rotation of shoulders. So this isn't about how far down we can come to the floor. In fact, we want to try send our hips forwards and our shoulders back so that your obliques are the thing that are supporting you in this shape. Don't walk out that leg for support. Keep bending that knee so that you're using muscles as opposed to dumping into your joints. Here for 3, for 2, 1 more breath in, 1 more breath out. With your next inhale, squeeze that back leg, rise up and exalt with your exhale. Really good. This time inhale back through center, hands to the hips, turn both toes now to face towards the left. So you're going to turn, open up the heels a little bit wider if you feel like your short stance is too short. Take a puff of the heart, lift, and exhale, fold forwards. So with the fingers on the floor, we're going to turn just the left toes out 45 degrees this time. You can inhale to lengthen, hands to heart center, and exhale, big bend into that left knee. So notice if that left knee is falling inwards. Maybe even use that left elbow to just gently guide that left knee over top of that left toe. Use the muscle strength to hold it, palms back to prayer heart center, and we're going to pulse it out. Here for 5, bring some heat in. 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Use that back thigh to help you spin to the top of the mat. Now, pop that left heel off the floor, palms to heart center, strong in that right leg. See if you can float up into your warrior 2. Warrior 3 rather. Only here for a moment. Take a big breath in. And exhale, slow rise. Hands to the hips, draw that left knee up towards the ceiling. So you're gonna stay there. Get a strong flex in your left ankle and cross it over top of your right knee, letting that left knee drop down. So adjust the hips here. Left hip lifts up a little bit, right hip comes down. Take an inhale, lift. And exhale, start to sit nice and low. So come into your figure 4, reach your fingers straight forwards, just like you did in that squat. That's gonna help you bring more weight towards the back of the mat. Those of you advanced who wanna go into your flying pigeon, feel free to do so. You're gonna really hook those left triceps around, or left toes around the right tricep, and belly strong to help you float that right leg. Here for 3. See if you can bring more weight to that right heel. The deeper you squat, the more you open up that left hip. 2, and slowly as you came in, slow rise. Send the fingertips and the knee up to the ceiling, palms to heart center, slow tip forwards, come into your warrior 3, arrive in the shape, don't rush through, and then bend at the knee. Tap the toes back, send the fingertips, find your lift. Exhale, palms come down to the mat, step it back, high plank, option to flow here, option to go straight back to downward facing dog. Always just choose for you. Once you're back in your downward facing dog, big breath in, big breath out. With your next inhale, bending at the knees, gazing forward, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Root to rise, sweep the arms up. And exhale, palms to heart center and down by the sides. Really good. Have a moment here. Close the eyes, just feel. We have one more round of vigorous stuff to go before we come down to rest. So seeing you can finish strong using the little lessons that you've learned about your body from that right side and applying them to the left side so that you can finish off really balanced, really solid. Take one more big breath in. One more big breath out. Opening the eyes with a couple blinks. Heel toeing those feet apart, hip width distance. Get a gauge of that distance. So again, weights in the heels so that your toes are nice and light. And then when you're ready, inhale, sitting low into your second last squat of the day. So really reach those fingers forward, squeeze the glutes, the hamstring. What's underneath of you to help you support in this chair squat shape? Strong triceps. 4, 3, big toes pressing down, but weights in the heels for 2. And a slow forward fold. Fingertips down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fingers pressing down. You're gonna take that medium large size step back with the right toes. Big bend into right knee, big bend into the left knee. Squeeze the legs to rise, hands to the hips. Make sure you can see that left big toe over top of your knee. Big bend into that right knee, cactus those arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Let's take a big breath in and out. This time, inhale, straight arms, straight legs. Exhale, drop it low. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, straight arms and legs, hands to the hips. Work that right heel in. Toes pointing to the right corner of the mat. Scissor the legs. So it's like you're tearing your mat apart between the 2 feet. Inhale, puffs the heart up. Exhale, fold left hip back in space. Maybe you're coming further, maybe fingers on the floor, maybe left thumb lifts. Find that twist. Right hip forwards, left hip back. Right foot should feel just as solid on your mat as your left. Here for 3. Here for 2. And 1. Carefully unwind, hands to the hips, squeeze the legs to rise. From there, turning those right toes to the right side. Keep the left toes pointing forwards. Little micro bend in that left knee. As you extend through the fingertips, make sure the left toes are still pointing forwards. Tuck the left hip back, and then rotate the shoulders. Back of the hand to the inside of that left thigh, that left knee. Use it to help support you strong in that back leg. 4. Use the core to help you support. 3, 2, and squeeze the back leg to rise. Exhale, dance it back. Good. This time, inhale, coming back through center, hands to hips. Turn both toes to face. The right heel toe the feet apart. And then from there, exhale, forward fold. So we're going to use, turn the right toes out 45 degrees. Big breath in. And then exhale, big bend to that right thigh. So you're going to maybe guide the knee away from the midline with that right elbow. You're going to sit nice and low, palms to heart center prayer, and then pulse it out. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold that squeeze. Use the back thigh to help you spin to the top of the mat. Now, pop that back heel off the mat. Get nice and strong into those left toes. Float it up into your warrior 3. Only here for a moment. Hands to the hips. Take an inhale. And exhale, slow rise. Draw that right knee up and towards the chest. Get strong and stable through your left foot. Try not to look at anything moving. Gaze at a spot on the floor. Cross your right ankle over top of the left knee. Hike that right hip up. And then when you're ready, send fingers forwards as you squat down, figure 4. Really good. So those of you coming into your flying pigeon, your palms will press to the mat. You're gonna hook the left tricep with those right toes. Stay really strong in the belly as you find your lift. Good, 4, 3. Weights in that left heel 2. As slow as you came in, slow rise. Palms to heart center. Keep your gaze on the floor to keep balance. And then tilting forwards, extending that right leg behind you. Find warrior 3. And then bend the knee, tap the toes back. Send the fingertips up, celebrate. Exhale, palms down to the floor, step back, high plank. Option here to float, option here to go back into down dog. Choose for you. Big breath in and big breath out. And then with your next inhale, you'll bend the knees, gaze forwards, step or float to seated onto the bum. Once you're on the bum, soles of the feet extend in front of you, scoot yourself forwards, make sure you have enough room behind you to roll down. Straighten the legs, reach the fingers forwards, and take a nice slow melt, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming down, down, down to the floor. And whenever your shoulders touch, no rush, you'll reach your arms behind you, stretch it out with a big inhale. And exhale, take the knees in towards the chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. If you'd like a happy baby here, feel free to take a happy baby instead. Reaching for the outer edges of the feet or ankles or backs of the thighs, whatever's available. Rock it a little from left to right. And then interlace fingers to the top of your right shin. Slide that left heel forwards and down like you're standing on a block of wood with a big breath in. And exhale, squeeze that right knee towards the outside of the right shoulder, towards the outside of that right side of the chest there. Big breath here. Big squeeze. Open up your right arm like a capital T. Use the left hand to help drag the knee across the body. If you want something a little deeper, left hand grabs the pinky edge of that right foot and you'll slowly twist and extend that right leg. So you're in more of a straight-legged twist. A little bit more for your IT bend this way, more for the sides of the legs. Turn the gaze towards the right so that the right shoulder gives it a little bit more room to help melt down towards the floor. Three, 2, one more big breath in, one more exhale. Carefully coming back through to center, drawing both of the knees in towards the chest. If you'd like that happy baby, one more time, go for it again. That happy baby, just sway it a little bit from left to right, allowing the tailbone to melt down towards the floor. And then interlacing fingers to the top of your left shin, slide that right heel forwards and down with a nice long inhale. Squeeze that left knee to the outside of that left shoulder, really pressing the right heel forwards as though you're standing on a block of wood. One more big breath here. One more squeeze. Open up your left arm like a capital T. Use it as counterbalance. Use that right palm to drag the knee across your body. If you want more depth, then you're going to grab the pinky edge of that left foot, and then you'll slowly extend that left leg. Working on getting that left shoulder to be heavy. Now this twist might not work as well as it did on the last side, so if you need to adjust. By all means, do so. You can just take that classic twist. Just allowing the eyes to close as we start to wind down practice. One more big breath in. And out. Very carefully coming back through the center. Wrap your arms around the shins. Bring your face into the knees. Squeeze yourself into one last final little yoga ball just to consolidate, compress your work. Take a nice long inhale. And then exhale to Shavasana. Extending the legs. If you like, you can take a butterfly, soles of the feet on the edges of the mat, whatever works for you. Roll those shoulders underneath the view. Tuck the chin towards the chest. And allow yourself to settle down. Softening the face, the jaw. Letting the back of head, shoulders, hips, and heels fall heavy to the floor. Feeling those sensations of pressure underneath of those points of contact. So feeling free to stay here for as long as you like today. Thank you so much for joining me for day 10 out of 14 of your Yoga Day Challenge. Again, your asana of the day is handstand. So have a wonderful rest of the day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Namaste.
I put 4 of these in, you can have them to go. We have 2.